Well, we're hoping that we'll break this down really to the ordinary person. A number of questions, I must say, we've been hit with a number of them. We'll get into it. But there are a few updates that we would like to get in terms of some of the things we heard and outstanding things before the budget was presented. But if you were to tell the ordinary person the two innovative policies or interventions that will give the ordinary person hope, what would it be in the budget?
Well, I think it is important to recognize that for the ordinary people, particularly the more vulnerable people, government is determined to increase the allocation towards social intervention. And that means that we are determined to protect the vulnerable. Most of the time, when you have an IMF program, it is all austerity, 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 and it hurts ordinary people. But this time around, this government has negotiated certain ceilings for the social spending. The school feeding program, for example, has been doubled. And this we have agreed with the IMF to do that. And they did not have any problem with that. LEAP, we have doubled LEAP, Livelihood Empowerment Against Poverty. We've doubled that. The National Health Insurance Scheme, we've given them more money. Capitation grant. And so to have negotiated these social interventions in the IMF program is very innovative, something you don't see under an IMF program. And therefore, the ordinary people feel safe and protected that with the effects associated with an IMF austerity program, there is some relief, that we are giving to them in order to enhance their living conditions and in order to assuage the effect any austerity measures associated with the IMF program will have on them. The second one, if you want innovation, is about what we call the Fiscal Stability Fund. You know that government implemented a DDEP program, and that affected some of the banks. So far, some of the banks have started reporting profits. I'm sure you are monitoring that. But there are others, especially the banks with state interest, which were affected by the DDEP. Government is introducing a fiscal stability fund, which is mentioned in the budget, about $500 million to be provided by the government, and the World Bank providing $250 million, making it $750 million, which will be used to cushion the banks, to support the banks, to make them stronger, so that those that are faced with insolvency challenges are made stronger to continue to support the private sector. That I think also innovative. Then let me also talk about the third innovative program, as you've asked, is the new growth strategy. Usually with an IMF program, because of the fiscal consolidation, growth suffers. Growth will have to go down, as you are not spending, because you are supposed to control spending. And therefore, government has to be intentional if you want to grow, to create jobs. And this is why the government, in the midst of an IMF program, has come out with a 5-year new growth strategy, focusing first of all on the first 15 months. And this growth strategy will focus on agriculture, on tourism, on digitalization, on industrialization, and so much money is going to be pumped into these areas so that we are intentional about growing in the midst of an IMF program. We also want to leverage private sector funding. And to that end, we are working with GIPC to bring in additional $5.1 billion of foreign direct investment, in addition to the 3 billion Ghana cedis government is pumping into these sectors I have mentioned under the new growth strategy, so that we can grow the economy, so that we can create jobs, so that we can increase the incomes of people, so that the usual notion about IMF program not bringing growth and not bringing jobs are addressed. So this, in my view, are 3 critical innovations that this budget has pronounced. And we are committed to implementing this innovative program to ensure that our economy grows at an accelerated pace.